Welcome to the Basement Talks. I am Scott, that is Barry, and today we are joined by a very special old friend of ours, Shane Hoopty Granger. What's up, man?
Oh, not much.
Now, you'll notice the theme of the last couple of weeks, we've been having some local famous people, and if you do that, you can't have a show without Shane, right?
I guess so. That's what I hear.
So, Shane, how did you, first of all, how did you get the nickname Hoopty?
Hoopty? Well, I drove this old junk-ass car my first car for high school. And most people don't even know what it is. It's called a Ford Futura. And most people are like, what the hell? You got to Google the car. And now they passed away. We can talk about this. But Grandma and Grandpa bought me this car, so I'm like, damn, what the hell did you buy me that damn thing for? Green, brown top, So I hated driving the damn thing. So, I got underneath the hood and I start pulling shit, unplugging shit. That son of a bitch was still starting. I'm like, God, fucking shit. Every time I get ready to go to school, that damn thing would start. And if I went out there and did that to my pickup right now, it wouldn't start.
Well, yeah, that's because engineering back in those days, cars were made to run.
Oh, yeah.
Now they're made to quit. Yep. So you have to buy a new one or take it back to the dealership to get it worked on.
Exactly.
And spend a couple $1,000s.
They'll run on 3 cylinders, back then.
Make sure
that thing, I've learned, well, it's probably from me unplugging shit, but I'd pump throttle going by to school. And that thing would backfire like a shotgun, and everybody hit the deck thinking somebody was shooting at them. And
that's not a prank you'd want to pull at a school anymore.
Oh, yeah. No. Nowadays, I would have been going to jail driving that because I'd rev it up, one, bam, and everybody, boom, hit the deck. We'd take it to lunch. We'd go to McDonald's. And one day I pulled out McDonald's, thought I was going to be cool, and I was going to do a, burnout, because how you start down low, power brake it, and then you shove her up the drive. Well, I pulled out the road, and I went past drive and hit reverse. It's like, and I'm sure you guys remember the overhead bridge.
Oh, yeah.
We would just ramp that damn thing. Every day. I couldn't tear that car up for nothing.
Was there anybody behind you when you threw it in reverse?
No, what? But I can't believe I didn't even drop the transmission in. You could not tear that car up. And we, me and a buddy of mine, we came up with what we called the seatbelt ride. And that's where I'd just be going down the road, just flying, and it'd be like, turn left, like, all right. Or left, it didn't matter. And we had a snowstorm one year, and this was the end of the days of the Hoopty car. There was these big snow piles, and I'd tell my buddies, just point one out, and we'll ramp it. They'd point. We was over there, I don't know my streets very well, but wasn't far from, where's over by your house, where's I don't know, whatever. Who cares what street it is? There's a church parking lot there, and there's a pile of snow, and they pointed out. So I floored it, ramped the bitch, landed in the street, damn near sideswiped the car, and then got her straightened up. And then we went out to the old Hardee's where I used to work, and there was a point down there, a pile. So I hit it, and there wasn't much room between there and 3D. And I didn't realize underneath the snow there's like a 3-foot curb, and I hit that damn thing. About hit the building, blew out all 4 tires, come back around the parking lot, and I worked there at the time. And I pulled in there and I just parked it, said hell with it, and I left it there for months until they kept crying about it in the parking lot. And I was like, hell, if you want to buy it, and I don't want it, And the manager ended up buying it. Because Senator Skip Out Day, I went through the drive-thru and I drug up on him. I told him I needed a day off because, that's when we have our big water balloon fight and all that stuff. And I'm like, and they scheduled me anyway. So the rebel I went through the drive-thru And he's like, I might take your order. And I'm like, yeah. I said, I quit. They're like, what? I said, they're like, who? I'm like, it's Hoopty. I quit. And they're like, you need to pull up to the window. I'm like, all right. So I pull up there to the manager, and I told her the same thing. You know, I'm like, I'm not playing. I'm done. I'm going to go have some fun, you know. You guys can go suck one. Take that minimum wage and shove it up your ass.
Boy, minimum wage sure was minimum back then.
Oh,
too,
yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So that car sits there till a manager bought it, and that.
They make more in Bangladesh than they made back in minimum wage back when we were young, didn't they?
You know, I quit a fast food job about the same. Well, I'd like to say quit, but I think I got pretty well let go. I worked at McDonald's, and somebody come in, and that might have been one of the Brandons. And they go, hey, what's up? How you doing? They go, you'll make me a double cheeseburger? I said, sure. Let me wrestle the meat away from the rat back here.
So Hoopty, this is astonishing to me that no matter where you go across the United States, there are people that know who you are. You're extremely famous, like social media famous.
So to say.
Yeah. How did that happen?
Well, started out with the Snapchat, then it went to TikTok.
Uh-huh.
But Snap, there was a Rude Jude on
I remember Rude Jude. He was like on Jenny Jones, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
XM.
Yeah.
Well, I was at this cornhole tournament in Evansville, and I got my ass kicked early. So now, you know, I rode down with some buddies. So I'm walking around bored, you know, and I start mushroom hunting this woods. And I didn't even know. And so, since I didn't know whose property it was, I was coming up with all these dumb scenarios that I'm going to tell these people, you know, before so I don't get prosecuted. And they're like, so I was like, you know, my girlfriend kicked me out on the highway over here, so I'm just kind of walking through, you know, could you tell me where this and that? And I can't remember all the scenarios, but I just kept coming up, and anyhow, he picked up on this, and she's got the video. But yeah, one day he blasted me on Sirius XM.
Yeah.
And so me and my buddy was drinking beer in the garage one day, and, you know, I didn't know all this shit was going on. And all of a sudden my phone goes, and I'm like, what the hell, you know? So I pick it up and look at it, and I'm like, I don't know. I had like 200 damn add-ons. So hell, we didn't give a damn. I just started hitting hell. I didn't know what was going on. So put it down. What the hell? And so we just, you know, we was in one of them booths, F it, we just kept. I had my phone plugged in all night, and that thing never got over 15%.
Oh my goodness!
Because it just kept going. And
that was TikTok, or that was
Snapchat.
That was Snapchat.
And then finally, somebody on Snapchat, you know, that I had is like, hey, you got blasted on Sirius XM by Rude Jude, and I'm like, no shit. I'm like, well, no wonder why my damn. So I had people all over the world. So you sent out this snap while mushroom hunting, and you were just making up all these scenarios on the snap. Yeah, this little dumb walking around talking myself in the woods, you know, and then it went viral.
So you went viral.
Yeah,
you went viral, and did you have to switch social medias, or did you get kicked off Snapchat, or are you still on it, or?
No, I'm still on it.
Okay.
I've been kicked off of it.
Right. That's what I thought.
And so yeah, so I mean, I lost a lot of the followers I had, because when, you know, when I got kicked off, I mean, I just out of the blue, they're like, well, I don't know.
Do you have an idea which video got you kicked off?
Well, my last video, the day I got kicked off, I know I was running down the iced over highway, running about 70 in two-wheel drive just to prove I could do it. I don't know if it was an unsafe act or whatever, but you know, I mean, hell, man, I didn't lose control. Nobody got hurt, made it to work. And next thing I know, I was kicked off. I'm like, I didn't even do nothing bad that day. So that I thought that was the worst thing I'd done. So then I called them or messaged them. They're like, once you've been banned, we can no longer do. I mean, they wouldn't even. I'm like, at least tell me what the hell I did wrong. So
right.
So did you have to change names or get a new account?
Oh,
or what?
yeah. I mean, it took me like 3 months to get back on because I did some research and then
Grain changer now.
oh, I tried different names and
You used a woman icon instead of a man, didn't you?
yeah, I've tried that. Yeah, I did that. I did that. so I finally got on there, and I was on there like 24 hours. You know how they ask for your phone number? Well, you know how I think they got, I don't know what you call that stuff, but you know where they trace your phone number is marked, kind of like them computer IP address or whatever.
Yeah.
And like soon as I typed my phone number in, it's like, bam, I was gone again. I'm like, all right, yeah. So you know, there's only so many ways you can come up with Hoopty this, Hoopty that. You know, so I'm running out of names. You know, so one last try. You know, I come up with Hoopty-G. Yeah. And then when they ask, you know, for safety or whatever to recover we need your phone number. I'm like, fuck you, you know. I ain't falling for that trap again after this day. My phone number ain't on that bitch. They'll send me shit once in a while, and I'm like, no.
Now, one of your more famous style of videos was back when you weren't a boss yourself. You would be in your heavy equipment operator, right? Right. And you would be in your equipment, and you would yell at your boss and cuss your boss out from inside the equipment.
Yeah, it just felt good.
Now, did your bosses know this? Were they in on it, or
no, some of them didn't. They pretty well knew I was out of control. Either you want me to work for you, or I'm gonna drag the fuck up. Because I died before.
But you've moved on. Now you're the supervision.
Yeah.
So do any of your guys make the videos cussing you?
Well, they probably do. I'm not aware of it yet, but I'm sure I'll get it.
Did you ever have which one of your videos or your snaps or anything that you're aware of? Which one was the most popular that got you? I know you said the Rude Jude one, that one kind of got you out there, but since you started doing your own stuff.
On Snap or TikTok?
Yeah, whichever one.
Well, TikTok involved, come around, I had people kept telling me, you need to do a TikTok. I didn't even know what the hell the shit was. Like, you need to do a TikTok. So one day, you know, I'm bored work, so I finally like, F it, I'm going to do a TikTok, I guess. And then this truck driver's...
Dirtbag.
Yeah. And so I went off on him on just like a regular snap. And, you know, and I sent it on TikTok. And then on my way home from work, I had like 22,000 people viewed it. And I'm like, hell, I'm used to like 200 or, you know, 1,500 on Snapchat. And I'm like, shit. So I started getting a little nervous. And then I'm like, that's quick. Yeah. So when I woke up and come to work the next morning, it was like up to 40,000. And I'm like, oh, shit. You know, it's going viral, I guess. Yeah. Then about 2:00 that evening, the next day, you know, my foreman comes on the radio. I was like, is there a Hoopty Granger here? Well, he knew good and well. I'm like, yeah. He's like, the main office, you know, from our headquarters call. He said their phone's blowing up, and they said if you do one more, or if you post their name or whatever, you know, they're gonna have to get rid of me. I'm like, well, you're gonna have to let me know now. I said, are they gonna fire me or not? Because if they're gonna fire me, I'm not deleting my video. Right, it's viral. But if they're not, I might delete it. So I didn't delete it, and I left it on there. So
now, I remember one, I don't know what it was on, because believe it or not, I don't have any social media whatsoever. I feel like it's a better world for me. Like, I don't spend
it sure is. I have to do all this stuff. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. So he's our tech guy, even though he doesn't appear a tech guy. looks more like he works on our stools in the back. Anyway,
truck driver tech guy.
Yes, but thank you for doing the tech, because I don't have any social media. I feel like I'm
not big social media guy either. Just Snapchat, and I don't even TikTok anymore because it's too much damn work. Because you got to do all that hashtag bullshit. Because I did a TikTok on that. I was like, you know, the one I went viral, I didn't even hashtag it because I didn't know what the fuck that meant. Right? You know?
So, but I saw one. Somebody showed me, and you were trying to get a cow.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
them
back
black cows.
yeah, you were trying to get a cow back across the road or back in the fence or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get their black ass back on the other side of the road.
Yes, I remember that one. Now, I think that was so popular because with your accent and how you talk, or from Southern Indiana, they probably didn't know who was even saying that.
No, not very many people used to hear the black guy with the country hillbilly ass accent.
Yeah.
So I think that's why that one was one of the reasons that one was so popular, is they didn't know who was saying it.
Yeah.
But you have to tell us the story. Well, it's two stories I want you to tell. One of them is about you guys went to Vegas and your plane ran off the taxiway.
Oh yeah.
And this is a good example of how popular this guy is. Go ahead and tell that story.
Oh well. We come in, we landed, and we're taxi. Luckily we safely landed. We flying Spirit. Which that's scary anyway. It's pretty much everybody who first gets their damn flying license. It's like you're going here to learn. Don't kill anybody. Then
It's called Holy Spirit. Actually, is what it's called. You're flying with the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, but you're saying holy shit. I'm flying with them. So we're taxiing down the runway, and I got this window seat by the wing, and this dumb motherfucker just running straight off the damn runway. I'm like, I felt the plane, since I run equipment. And everybody's like freaking out. And I look out the window. I'm like, we're in the fucking mud. And they're like, they come on there and they tell us some line of BS. And I'm telling everybody, no, we ran off the fucking runway. That's what we did. We're hung up.
Yeah.
And so, so we sat there forever, and then they brought buses out and then got us out of there. But
the funny part about that story and the point of emphasis that I was trying to make about everybody knowing you is, like, you were getting ready to get off the plane and leave your luggage. They were going to ship it to you, and somebody in Vegas, or was it Indianapolis when this happened? Was it Vegas or Indianapolis?
Oh yeah, she'll just help me on that because I got Alzheimer's or something.
It was Indy. It was okay. So you guys were back in Indianapolis, but what I'm saying is, somebody sent you a message and said, "Hey, is this who?" Yeah, go ahead.
I think was that they worked at the airport.
Yeah. He said, "Is this empty?"
Yeah, you see, I've had so much occurrences of that, or so many episodes like what you're talking about that I forgot half of them. But yeah, somebody that worked at the airport saw my snap. And they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll get your luggage," and
they brought
they looked me right up. So everybody else had to wait like a week or so to get their shit, and I went home and shit that night. So.
Yeah, service and all because of you were famous on social media.
Yeah, and you'll be amazed. Like, I'll be driving my truck in a different damn town or state, and I'll get a Snapchat. So, that's me, I can't go nowhere.
You're a star.
Yeah, I guess.
A local legend and
broke ass star.
and an international legend at the same time.
That's awesome.
There was another story that I wanted you to tell. I thought this was hilarious. It was one of the only times that I'd ever been out in public with you, or out to eat with you. We were in. You may not remember this, so I may have to refresh your memory. Right. We were in French Lick.
Right.
And we went to Larry Bird's restaurant.
Yeah, I remember
33 Brick Street.
Yeah, 33 Brick Street.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And
of course, I know the name of the restaurant.
And there was a wall that had some a portion of a basketball court on it. And you wanted, it had a lot of famous signatures on it, and you wanted to sign it.
Yeah, exactly.
You kept asking for a Sharpie. You kept asking the waitress for a Sharpie.
I remember that.
Go ahead. Do you remember the rest of the story?
Well, Probably not.
Okay, let me refresh your memory. How about I tell the story?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and you listen and laugh. How about
All right,
that?
we'll back it up.
So every time the waitress would come, there was a large group of us, and every time the waitress would come over to refill drinks or something like that, he goes, "Hey, you gonna bring me a Sharpie? I'm gonna sign this. I'm gonna sign the basketball court." She's like, "Well," she goes, it's for famous people and friends of Larry and people like that." He goes, "Well, go ahead and get a Sharpie." And so she never brought a Sharpie. She keeps coming back, and you keep asking her for Sharpie. Finally, you said, "Hey, bring me a Sharpie because I cut Larry Bird's grass."
Oh yeah.
You said me and Larry are really close, so we're friends. I cut his grass, so bring me the Sharpie. I'm gonna sign the board. And so she didn't know you,
Right.
but she went back to the bar area, and she was whispering to the lady that was behind the bar about a Sharpie, and the lady looked over and she goes, "Ah, that's Hoopty. She knew you. She knew you. They wouldn't give you a Sharpie to sign the court." I thought it was a travesty myself.
That's the way it goes. I can't hide anywhere.
That's a Southern Indiana term too, and a lot of people, I mow his lawn. No, we cut grass around here.
That's right.
Yeah, but that was your way to wiggle in to get to sign the basketball court. Basketball. You
I was
cut his
pulling every little corner, and she wasn't buying it. I was like, "Hell, I mow his yard, you know." We're tight. I mean, if I mow his yard, I better get to sign that damn board.
Yeah, you even told her you played with him at his court at home after you mowed the lawn. You would play with him.
By the way, do you play basketball well?
No, I sucked at basketball. I was a bench warmer.
Yeah,
And
the Humphreys disappointment, I call it. Your nephew's the same way. All these coaches would be excited when they'd see Brandon walk in the gym. Then he'd do a couple laps, and they're like,
yeah, back in my day, they had the favorite five, that learned all the shit, and they had all of us dummies that sit down the other end of the court, shoot free throws all day. And when I finally did get in the game, they're like, they're blowing the whistle at me. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't do nothing. Well, there was like you can only stand in the damn black paint or whatever so long,
Yeah, 3 seconds.
Yeah, 3 second rule. I'm like, they kept blowing the whistle. I'm like, I ain't got the damn ball. I was like, well, I wasn't down there shooting free throws all the damn time. I mean, I might know some of these rules, but hell, give me the ball. I can make a free throw. I shot 200 of them last season. They played a damn game. Except for this one, you keep blowing the whistle for me for staying in the black paint.
Hey, this is
So that ended my basketball career. I was like, F basketball.
Well, this is a really hard community or a hard town to play basketball in. I mean, we have a long-standing tradition here. So I think we have seven state championships or something like that.
Yeah, it's up.
And so I during the time that Scott and I were in high school, we had 3 or 4 Division I college basketball players on the basketball team. So by the time I was a sophomore, I decided this game wasn't for me. I stuck with football. I was better at football than I was at basketball. But yeah, so I couldn't play basketball with the caliber of talent that we had here locally. I just couldn't do it. I didn't practice enough. I wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
So and then Brandon, he was just the intimidator sitting over on the bench.
Don't put him in.
Baseball was my sport, and then track until I got kicked off the track team because I was chewing on the bus. And
hey, he's at the 400 meter. He's going.
Well, no, this was on the bus ride on the way home, and I wasn't the only one chewing, but I was holding the spitter, and someone had to take one for the team. So as we pull up to school, I chucked the spitter and busted. Well, I got busted yep, you need to come up, Mr. Granger, you need to come up to the front of the bus. I'm like, you throw that bottle out of yeah, I guess so. And so they're like, all right, you're suspended the next couple meets. And I'm like, well, how about, that's when my drag up career started. It's like, that's when I just said, F it. Coming back. I got better things to do.
Hey, you're going to notice in 2 weeks. I haven't been here in 2 weeks. Is basically what you're saying.
I did quit a job like that too. Yeah, I got.
That's funny. Now, what did I knew Bob pretty well. What did he think about these shenanigans?
Bob Purdue. Let's see.
No, Bob pretty well. Your pop.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, he didn't know about all of them. I had covered up a lot of stuff, but he did preach about me in church a lot of times. But it was like in nonchalant ways, you know. He'd be like, because it'd be like, you know, I'd get in trouble.
Yeah.
Then next weekend at church, all of a sudden the sermon would be like, man, I feel like this. I feel like old boy's talking about me, you know, because this is the shit I did last weekend. You know, so yeah,
My mom preaches. She does the same thing.
yeah, he called me out in nonchalant ways. So I made the sermons easier. He didn't have to study much because I always gave him something to preach about. That's for sure.
Yeah, your grandma who got you that car, she was like one of the sweetest ladies ever.
Oh yeah,
She'd let me and Brandon in the house at least. I know that your mom and dad, they had their fill of us, and I can't blame them. Because me and Brandon were terrible. I mean,
yeah. I was. You know, they always said the preacher's son's the worst kid on the block.
Yeah.
Or the preacher's kids, period. And nobody should have told me that because I felt like I had a goal in me.
Yeah, you had to live up to something.
Yeah, so
If they wouldn't have told you, you wouldn't have had to live up to it.
so I had to make it a fact. You know.
You don't want to lie to the folks, do you?
No, see, that's it. I had the foulest mouth on the block.
I feel required to tell you that since we began the episode by talking about old crappy cars, and that's how you got your nickname,
Right. Yeah, and it's
Scott, you got to tell him your story about your Camaro. You were modifying the exhaust on it.
oh, come on, man. So I've never been a wrench head ever, and I had this Camaro that Dad let me trade my truck off for as a learning lesson. He knew what it was, and I traded
Jalopy.
Oh yeah, I traded this truck off, and it supposedly had this paint that changed colors. It was titty pink. That's what it was.
Yes, exactly.
Well, yeah, and I pulled it into town, and Jeff McCracken goes, "That Barbie's dream car? What is that?" And anyways, I'd Matt McCracken over, and I was going to go straight pipe with it. I was 16 years old. I had a grinder, and Matt's like, "What are you doing?" And it had these exhaust tips that come down.
Turn downs behind the bumper. Yeah.
And I was cutting them off. And he goes, "What'd you do that for?" I said, "I'm making the pipe straight. I'm going straight pipe with it." He goes,
instead of cutting the muffler off, he cut the curve part at the end off. Thought he was making straight pipes.
Oh hell!
my dad found out about it. He looked at me as if I told him that I want to be a professional dancer for a career.
Disappointment, sheer disappointment. But hey, that's what a 16-year-old does. They disappoint the parents, you know.
Dad had a run in with you not too long ago. I think it was around harvest time. You were out there driving around the fields out at Boyd's, and
yeah, that was your dad.
That was Big Gene.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Everybody's like, "Who's that guy?" And Dad goes, "I'll go check see who it is."
Yeah.
Hey, fella.
He was the only brave one that ran us down. You know, I got these strobe lights on my truck, and I knew these guys didn't know where I was working at the time. So, I'm just flying down Eversport Road, and I just say, hell, and I just whip it off the road about 40 mile an hour, and I flip my strobes on, and I'm chasing dog or wagon across the field, and they're all looking at me like, who in the hell is this? This ain't his job site, and I'm just driving around the field just randomly with my lights on. And so I have my fun, I leave, and I go pick her up, and we come back, and we do the shit again. They're like, and that's when your dad jumped out. I was like, hey, they want to know. I'm like, oh, just tell Miss Hoopty, and they'll understand. Like they know me. They don't know me in this truck.
Oh man.
I got a funny story I got to sneak in, and it doesn't have to do with anybody that's here, but I thought it was hilarious. A friend of ours, Scott, who was in our grade, his parents are like much older, like than our parents are.
Yeah.
Anyways, they were going to go to a funeral. So they show up at this church and they walk in, start looking around. People are kind of eyeballing them kind of weird. And they grab the little pamphlet, you know, that says their death date and where they're going to be buried, all that good stuff. Has a picture of them and stuff. And they grab one and just keep walking. They walk up to the casket to pay their respects and they look down and they look at each other. This ain't John. They were at the wrong funeral.
Yeah, good guy. Good guy.
They were at the wrong funerals. So they paid their respects and moved on and walked out and went to the correct funeral. Can you imagine?
We had to warm up.
And everybody was. They thought that everybody was kind of looking at them weird, you know. And so they, you know, they didn't know what was going on. So they walked up to the cast, the wrong person.
Well, I think that is going to do us for this week. Hoopty, what's your social media so people can follow you on, man?
I think it's Hoopty-G. I mean, I've had to change my name so many times to get back on there. And then TikTok, what is it? It used to be Hoopty-G. I think it's Hoopty Granger now. Then TikTok is somewhere along the lines. Hoopty something.
Yeah, they can type it in the search bar and they'll find you, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Hoopty, just look for a black Hoopty somewhere in the name. There ain't very many of us.
Well, like the old saying goes, and I prove it to my wife all the time too. Behind every great man, there's a woman rolling her eyes. Well, we're going to get out of here. Well, thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, comment.
Hey, tell us if you want to see somebody on, if you want to see a different guest, or tell us what you want from Scott and I, because we're new at this and we're learning as we go. We think we're kind of on a roll here, maybe. So
I like it.
We are our local legends.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thanks.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Hoopty.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
What?